How old were you when you learned to swim, or are you able to swim now? As I said earlier on, that's one thing I can't do. Local school, Wollascope Primary, have just won an award from Swim England, and to tell us all about that is Sam Horton, who is their PE teacher and swimming coordinator from the school in Stourbridge, or probably I should be saying Mr. Horton. Good evening, Mr. Horton.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Tell me about Wollascope Primary School then.
So Wollascope Primary School is a two-form school. We teach age 4 to 11, and putting a perspective on to it is that within the school, it's got the facilities is absolutely amazing. So we've got our own swimming pool on site, we've got a field, we've got AstroTurf, we've got halls, we've got playground. So, but like I say, putting a P spin on, it's a fantastic facilities for the children. So we've got our own nursery, EYFS building, a Key Stage 1 building and a Key Stage 2 building as well.
So really the whole shooting match, if you like. So, I mean, I said that you're the PE teacher, but you're not just the PE teacher, are you? There's more to you. Tell me about that. So
I've been within my school setting for 7 years. I started off as a sports coach for 4 years, and then I got promoted as a PE teacher 3 years ago, and then 2 years ago I got promoted as the PE lead. And like I say, because there's a swimming pool on site, I am in charge of PE and swimming. So I have to juggle quite a lot of plates, spin a lot of plates at the same time, because I oversee PE in detail, I oversee swimming. I've got my own full-time PE teacher who I oversee, and it's all about the expectations, constantly striving for best practice. I have a swimming teacher, same kind of thing, mentoring, coaching, and constantly striving for best practice as well. I'm in charge of lunch times over Key Stage 2, and that's all to do with physical activity and taking every opportunity to really focus on that. But for me as well, it's all about building sportsmanship as well. Sportsmanship for me is very, very important, and I'm really trying to build a profile on that, because I really do believe that when children leave primary school, having that leadership skills, that clear communication, teamwork, all that positivity is really going to benefit them later on in life. And we understand that this kind of generation that we've got now is more challenging through the technology and stuff like that. For example, 7 years ago when I started off as a sports coach, I think life was a lot easier. And then a few years ago I thought, is it a COVID thing? But I do feel like this generation is more challenging. So I really do try to put a lot of focus on to make sure that, like I say, make sure that they're role models, because when they've got their younger brothers or sisters or cousins, if I teach them all this quality positivity, they will teach the next generation as well. So I put a lot of focus on that.
How did you get involved with this, though, in the first place? Take me back beyond 7 years then. Have you always been, a fitness sort of guru, if you like, or did you just fall into this career?
Well, I was always into sport when I was younger. I played football at a decent level. West Bromwich Albion, I was on the West Bromwich Albion books. I mean, they wanted to sign me up. Walsall wanted to sign me up, but I was a goalkeeper under 14s. But I kind of gave up that when I was about 15, just because the love and passion kind of disappeared. So I've always been naturally gifted at sport. And I did that. I carried it on a little bit after that. I did a bit of sports coaching, 16, 17. Then I went into retail management, so I've got that management experience. And then I just went into personal training, and I was a personal trainer. And stupidly, I thought, teaching adults fitness, I can easily just transfer that over to the children. Whoa, that was a massive shock to the factor. But one of my best mates, he was a teacher at another school, and he got me to go to his school and do a bit of work experience when I was about 29, stroke 30. And I loved it. I really liked it. But really, my journey started at Wollascope, really.
What sort of challenges you in your job, though, the most?
What challenges the most? I put a lot of pressure on myself, because as a lead, I constantly strive for best practice. So I think the biggest challenge is myself, because I constantly strive to be the best version I possibly can be. And my head teacher taught me a few years ago, which has always stuck with me, that children are the number one priority. So I really strive to be the best version I can be on a day-to-day basis, because I want the children to be given the best opportunity they possibly can get. And that's exactly the same what I expect from my PE teacher and my swimming teacher. We were all on the same page. To be fair, our school is very, very good. We always focus on the children, and we put our standards are very high, because it's an area where they don't get as much opportunity outside of school. But we really do. I mean, our head teacher has put so much stuff into it. Like I said at the beginning of the conversation, with all the facilities that we've got a brand new nursery, outdoor area, reception area. It really is quality stuff for the children.
So tell me about your award then, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. So the award was from our governing body, Swim England, and it was our category was School Swimming Award. So basically, for last academic year, we've just won the School Swimming Award Gold. So we are officially number one nationally.
Terrific.
Yeah.
That's really good. What did it mean to you when you realised that you'd got the award? Keep it clean.
Well, like I speak to off air, it's just I've got a lot of experience doing podcasts and stuff like that. But when I went up on the stage, I was just completely gone. I was speechless. It's because I've worked... It's been a collective, but I'm just saying, like, as an individual, because basically I'm the contents creator within our school as well. So I create every single scheme work. I create all the systems, long-term plan, medium-term plan, short-term plan, progression maps, vocabulary, end documents. It's all my systems. So I've worked 7 days a week till 11 o'clock at night, weekends, non-stop, just because with this Swim England, I love resources. And I've used the Swim England School Swimming Charter as my main resource. It's a great resource. It's free for schools. It's got everything on there. It's got examples of lesson plans, progression map, the end documents. It's got videos. But what I've done is I've created the entire system. I've used that as my resource, but I've created a 2-year system with my own lessons embedded within the school. So that's took ages and ages. But what does it mean is that I'm so proud, because this is not a me thing at all. I haven't become an experienced leader by myself. I've had so many staff that have helped me out over the years. My head teacher has been an amazing mentor. My swimming teacher, Miss Raybold. We've been on this journey for 3 years. We started 3 years ago with no systems at all. So I think the great thing about it is that there was a blank canvas for me. I mean, the negative was that swimming wasn't at a good quality standard 3 years ago. But the positive is I had a blank canvas to work with. And because I had that canvas, then I could start creating stuff. And like I said, myself and Miss Raybold have been on this journey, because she's my swimming teacher. We've been on this journey together. And she is absolutely amazing in the way that she's put so much effort into her teaching, and I think she's a fantastic teacher now, and we've done this as a team. This is not a me thing. Whoever's helped me over the years, this is an us thing, and I'm so proud to be the PE and swimming lead for Woolliscote. I'm very proud.
What do you think made the school stand out for Swim England?
What's made it stand out is that no one's got our systems, because they're all created from my head. It really is bespoke. We have, as a school, gone above and beyond for the children. What else has made us stand out? Because it's the catchment area isn't, like I say, they don't have as much opportunity outside of school. So the national curriculum, they've got to be able to achieve 3 things. 25 metres, they've got to be able to do it confidently and competently across the water. They've got to be able to show water safety and a variety of strokes. 25 metres is the really most important thing that you're looking for on your national curriculum, and it goes on your sports premium. Black country area is at 54%. We're already at 58% in year 4, so I've got 2 years to improve on that. So the reason why I think we've massively stand out with Swim England is because we literally do go above and beyond. I've really put a big focus on myself and my swimming teacher to have the same work on the same hymn sheet. And what that is that the environment is the most important bit. So the environment is building a positive environment to make sure that learning can commence. So the environment is making sure that the ground rules are embedded, make sure that peer-on-peer support. Children help each other out. Make sure I treat it as whatever children I've got in the pool, 15 children, for example, we're one whole team and we are all constantly striving to improve our skills. And for me, like I say, there's two things I want children to really focus on by the time they leave Wooloscope. One is that we are constantly improving our skills, our swimming. And the second thing, which I think is as important, that love and passion for the subject. Because if they have love and passion for the subject, they're going to go up to their parents and guardians and say, I'm really looking forward to my swimming lesson next week, or can we go to Leisure Centre on the weekend? Having that love and passion subject is so vastly important for me. And myself and Miss Raybold, we really put so much emphasis on that. And that's why we stand out.
So if I was a parent with a child within your demographic and my child was coming to your school in September next, what can they expect? And what can I expect as a parent?
What they can expect is that they're going to have 2 swimming teachers that will support them every single second throughout the lesson, but not just the teachers. They'll expect that the pupils will support them as well, and a positive environment. And we are all there to help each other, to upskill everyone, not only on the swimming side but the water safety side, because as we know, swimming is so important because it is literally a life skill. We put a lot of emphasis on our water safety code, which is just stop and think. It's stay together, call 999 and float. And we put a lot of emphasis on our beach flags as well, so they have that clear understanding. If they ever do go to the beach, they've got that knowledge. It's about, so like I say, giving everyone that. It's inclusivity at the end of the day. That's what it's about.
As I said at the beginning, I'll freely admit I can't swim, but I have seen on television the Float to Live thing. Now that's effective, isn't it? And is that part of your curriculum?
Well, part of our curriculum is that we very much focus on, we've got awards 1 to 6, and it's about giving children the opportunity to really focus on building their skills with floats and aids, and then having the opportunity without. And the other big focus is that water safety, big focus as well. And like I say, the water safety code and those beach flags is very important. It's about teaching children that if they're ever stuck in a sticky situation, they've got the tools of how to get out of it, basically.
So I guess it's popular with them. The children must lap it up.
Well, I did a pupil voice last week just because I think it's very important, because nothing beats the pupils actually having that voice, because we know that children are very, very honest. And 98% of my pupils said that they see the lessons that I create, that they are fun, engaging, and peer support, and supporting one another is a big thing. And 100% of them say that water safety is very important.
See, that wasn't taught in my day. Well, you were taught to swim, and that was it.
Well, my experience wasn't fantastic, really. I recall, I was thinking about this like today. I was like, what was my experience as a swimmer? I think I did swimming in year 2, did it for a handful of weeks, and it wasn't a positive experience. For me, it's like I say, it's that love and passion. But how you get that love and passion is, most importantly, when they first enter the water confidence is number 1 priority. And water confidence is all about bringing that fun atmosphere into it, and then bringing those games into it for them to, because as soon as you get rid of the fear factor, you'll notice how rapidly they progress. And how I teach my lessons, and how I get Miss Raybold to teach it as well, is that I think there's a big difference between fun and love of learning as well. So fun for me is if you went up to a child and they were just splashing around and you go, how do you do a push and glide, and they haven't got a Scooby-Doo? That to me is something that I don't want to see in my lesson. Love of learning is that they're on task, supporting one another. If you ask some key question, they can clearly break it down and they can show you. And then you'll notice that they've got a massive smile on their face because they are progressing. So they're enjoying the lesson because they're progressing so much, and they've got the knowledge behind it as well. And I think that's the difference. And that's what I try to bring, that love towards their learning.
We're talking here about children, but what about adults? If there's any adults listening who, like me, can't swim, how would you motivate them and give them the confidence to make that first step?
I personally think that you should just basically I mean, if you go on social media, onto YouTube, you could easily look up to some how to break down skills. I think you just need to have like a good tutor who. I mean, how I teach the lessons is having just a teacher's head on. So you just need to have someone to support you. You could even have one of your friends who's a confident swimmer, and it's about just breaking down the skill in stages. So it's even for adults, you're preventing cognitive overload. So if I said to somebody, say, I want you to hands on the rails and I'll push off in 3 seconds, and don't forget to go into a pencil, but you need to regain feet, but your pace is in a 3, 2, 1, go. They won't have a clue. So it's just breaking down the skill in stages. And like I say, it's about getting it embedded within the head. And that's with anybody. So my advice would be just go with one of your friends who's a very confident swimmer, and then they can support you with that. So it's just motivation.
Within the school, where do you think things are going to go? Where do you see all this evolving? Because it is going to evolve, clearly.
But with swimming?
Yeah, and everything else that you do. But principally about swimming.
Well, I mean, I'm the PE lead as well, so I've just had somebody come over to observe myself and my PE teacher today, and he said that we was at an outstanding level for PE. I had the Albion Foundation come over to see me. The thing is, though, whilst I'm there, I'm just constantly striving to really excel both my subjects. And I want it to get to the point that when I do eventually will leave Woolliscote, it's in good hands. And for me, I'm putting all these systems in place to get them embedded that they are Woolliscotes, and then I can, if I ever do move on. But the whole reason why I'm doing this is because I have so much respect for the school, I have so much respect for the staff, and I have so much respect for the children. This is the whole reason why I go above and beyond. The whole reason why I put hours and hours on end is so the children can have the best opportunity. So that's the reason why I do it.
Now, obviously, you're teaching 4 to 11-year-olds, as you were saying earlier on. Are children able to continue swimming when they move on to senior school? And I assume that is the case, but how do the lessons then evolve?
I mean, it's a tough one for me. It's the only thing that I could kind of think outside the box, because as the lead for Woolliscote, I'm very tunnel vision. I'm very much focused on my school. The only thing that I would say is that I have spoken to numerous ex-pupils over the last couple of years, and I'll go, how's swimming? How's PE? And they pretty much don't really give me a great answer. They're like, it doesn't really carry on. And so you put so much energy. That's the thing that I mean, I did a podcast recently with Swim Picks, the director of Swim Picks, and I asked this question to her. And the thing is, though, it's a tough one, because you put so much energy. It's part of your national curriculum in year 6, and it kind of like disappears. So you kind of need it to carry on. But then I reckon my answer would probably be different if I didn't have a pool on site, and I probably wouldn't have got the swim award if I didn't have a pool on site, because I feel it's very tough for schools, primary schools, secondary schools that don't have a pool on site, because then you've got to think of time, you've got to think of cost, you've got to think of staff. So, and you know that a lot of leisure centres are closing down more than ever nowadays. So it's a tough one. It really is a tough one, and I think there's a lot of companies that are trying their best to have these pop-up pools, and I think that's a brilliant idea, because they are thinking about the children. I know it's a business for them, but they really are trying to think about the children. So like I say, my own experience is speaking to ex-pupils, and it's not a positive response off them, really.
So talk to me about your podcast, because you've mentioned this a few times. What got you started doing that?
Well, it's basically, I'm an unqualified teacher, so I haven't got a QTS. So I think it was kind of personally my own kind of thing that I wanted to try and prove the sector that I can really excel within the sector without the QTS. So I've constantly just, like I say, strive to be the best version of myself for the children at school, and I'm striving to be my best version of myself outside of school as well. And I do feel like I have got a lot of knowledge now, and my name is going around the sector, the primary school sector, in a positive way. And it's just offering free advice and just trying to support one another. There's some amazing sports coaches out there. There's some amazing PE coordinators out there. And the primary school setting can be quite tough in a way that I don't think it's as well respected as it should be. You've got some amazing governing bodies for us who really are amazing. They do fantastic things. But I just feel like I can help, and like I say, we're all here for one reason only, and that's basically we want the children to achieve these quality results. We want them to your fundamental skills in Key Stage 1 are so vastly important, and it's really beneficial for them. And like I say, for me, it's the physical side, the cognitive side is very important. The emotional, social side is very important as well, that holistic approach, because if a child's going for a job when they're older, they need those skills to communicate. Mm-hmm. So I think PE is a really important subject, and that's why I'm doing the podcast to like I say, to try and help as much as I possibly can outside of school.
What's the podcast called, Sam?
Well, my own one is Primary PE Lead Podcast, but I've been on numerous PE podcasts as well.
Okay. Well done on the award, and I'm sure that the school will be lapping up on this as well, quite literally, I suppose. And best of luck to you and everybody that you're teaching as well. Sam Horton from Woollerscope Primary School, thank you very much for talking to Friday Night Live.
Thank you.